It's Tuesday afternoon, and you know what that means. It's time for Randomity with the Random Christian Show. Today, the Random Christian Show is interviewing Fancy and Amanda from the Good Wives Network. The Random Christian Show is brought to you by Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena, a unique blended salsa loaded with cilantro and just the right amount of heat. Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena is available in stores across Northern California, Colorado, Nevada, and Southern Oregon. To find a store near you, just visit mrsafamous.com. The Random Christian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. The Advisor is a Facebook group created by Colonel James Neil Broadus, composed of multi-talent such as actors, directors, artists, writers, and more. If you fall into this category, contact them on Facebook at The Advisor. The Random Christian Show can now be seen on the Good Wives Network, TV for women, by women. The Good Wives Network starts streaming soon over on Roku, Android TV, and Amazon TV. Intro music provided by the Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify and at deadcampers.com. Next week, the Random Christian Show is interviewing Michael Baran, actor and animal trainer. My name is Andy. Now here's your host, Christian Random.
You love just leaving that last little bit in right there.
I just need just a little bit. Yeah, just right when you think it's going to stop. I know. I got to get that little riff in there.
And it gets stuck in your head. Welcome to the show. Heyo.
Heyo.
Heyo. I am Christian. That is...
that's
Andy.
Yeah, my name is Andy.
Yes.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
Andy's hetero life partner, Christian.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Andy's bad husband, Andy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I will fix that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you didn't correct.
I sort of screwed this up, didn't I?
Yeah. But it goes in theme with the show, so it's fine.
I ruined the joke. There we go. Now I am bad husband.
There it is,
Okay.
which goes right along with the Good Wives Network, which we are
Heyo.
a proud part of now.
Yeah.
And they're doing their soft opening here soon, and we'll have Fancy on. She'll explain it all to us here shortly.
Right. Yeah.
Very excited to be a part of such a huge launch, and actually, believe Apple TV is now part of the programming as well. So yeah, we're gonna find out all about that. Anyway, how you doing, Andy? Welcome to it.
I'm doing great, Christian. How are you, man?
You had to mingle with people.
I had to people yesterday. I'm good for a little while. Although I have another work event coming later in the month, which I'm actually going to miss a show, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I had to people yesterday, and it was interesting because first time I've been around coworkers in the same environment for 4 years, right? Because of that. Of the pandemic, right?
Yes. The thing we don't talk about anymore, Andy.
Right. But I've been working from home since 2015. So it's been a while, right? Since I've had to mingle with people. And let me just say that about 90% of the people there felt the exact same way that I did. Yeah. Like, hey, it's weird to be around people again. Yeah. But anyway, I have discovered that my people skills did not diminish.
Well,
I was able to carry on conversations. I was able to effectively communicate with other people, and it was fun. It was fun to see our new offices too. So yeah, it was good. Well. It was a very good visit. Everything worked out. So
and so now you're good for another 5 years.
Exactly. Yeah. No more people. No more people for.
I don't know if you saw my reply to your post, but
yes,
the whole Gollum thing just went through my head. Andy's no likes the peoples.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. What's people's precious?
Just walking around with your phone. All I need is this.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. And everybody's like, yeah, that's Andy. He's on a couple podcasts. He's
Right.
kind of different. We just let him go.
It's just a little weird.
Don't eat the shrimp puffs. Those are Andy's.
Right.
Just leave those be. These are all mine now. Yes. No, it's that's I can imagine that would be a little different for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like I work on a a truck dock.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I supervise a bunch of what I like to call drunk circus monkeys and try and keep them in line and keep them coordinated. And it's rather interesting because then I go in the office,
Yeah.
and there's actual like an office now. We've gotten a new building, and I walk in and I'm still me and being
Right.
me, and everybody's like, "Wow, filters, some kind of
Right.
filter, Christian." Nope, not doing it. Gonna get just coming in, having a good time. Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, and you've worked in the radio environment too. You
Oh
have
yes.
you have your on-air people, right? You have your producers, which they're all very outgoing, very outspoken,
Yeah.
right? You have the salespeople, which you just can't trust anything that comes out of their mouth, right?
No,
But
never.
no, then you have the engineers, right? That would rather not people as well and just need to do their things and tinker, right? And then you have sort
They
of the
are
other
the
people.
columns of the radio station.
No, absolutely 100%. And so, but a lot of my work, I have to go and talk to all these different people,
Right.
right? And I have to coordinate efforts through everything. So, yeah, it's interesting. It was definitely interesting. But yeah, a lot of people both said it was weird to be to be
Yeah.
back in an office with people
And not
yesterday.
have masks over your face, so all you
Or
see is
right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a weird regular day in an office. That's what it was. So funny,
Yeah,
just
good
funny.
times, good times.
Yeah.
And a little Wilhelm scream for you, just to get that out of the way. All right, so we got Fancy Macelli of the Good Wives Network coming on. Tommy the Truth is going to be in. He's got some big news. He just in fact, he was talking to us. He's like, "I gotta go. I gotta check. I gotta research this. I gotta research this." So
Yeah.
he's
We
got
might
some.
we might be breaking some sports news on the Random Christian Show today.
Yeah, it's
You
Um,
know.
we could, but I'm sure everybody knows about it already. But we'll have in-depth stories from Tommy the
That's
Truth
right.
about it. So
Yes.
and nobody else has that. No.
No.
All right.
No.
Us. So
Right.
deal. Right. And as always, we've got our little random 9 list. And well, let's speaking of which, there's our intro music. Because we do have the Good Wives Network. We're a part of it now, and again on several different streaming channels. So our thing today is, we like to call it the 9 random networks that we'd love to see happen. That's right. Networks that, have been proposed, been kicked around, and then tossed out immediately as soon as they were proposed. Well, we did the research. We had a crack squad bring them up, put them together, and now, right here, that's it. 9 of the top random networks that should have happened but didn't. So we've got them. They're here for you right now. 9 random networks that we'd love to see happen. And let's get into it. What do you say?
Yeah. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
So we're bringing it in. We're bringing it down. We're keeping it cool. Yeah, that's right. Boom. And the music's off now. So we're good. All right. I was trying to hit
You don't
post.
need to say everything you're thinking, Christian. You can leave
Sometimes-
like just push one thought just back.
Besides looking at myself and seeing that there's things in my teeth that I shouldn't be
Easy
talking about.
again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Inner monologue.
Ha, ha.
Inner monologue. They
monologue.
call it
Right.
inner for a reason.
Yes.
So it doesn't become outer.
Sort of like my belly button is an innie and not an outie. Oh, like that?
Yes.
Ah,
exactly. Be
got
the
it.
innie, not the
Got it.
outie. Okay.
There we go. All right. Very good. All right. So let's start off with number 9 random networks that we'd love to see happen. Well, we've got the old CGN, the Carl Gottlieb Network.
You
It's
have
all
to
work
let this go.
and no fun. It's their
You
motto.
have to let this go. You have to let it go, Christian.
I
How
know.
long has it been now?
It's
Can't
been
we
very
put that awful interview behind us?
Yeah.
You know what we're gonna do?
I'm in therapy.
We're gonna bury it. We're gonna symbolically bury it in the backyard later tonight. I'm gonna call your wife
because I'm moving.
Right, exactly. Symbolically bury it in the backyard. You can move on. You can leave, and therefore it is gone. It's out.
And this house will be clean.
Yes, we will exorcise the demons.
We are freeing ourselves of this horrible cow person. We'll be moving forward. Yeah. All right. So it's kind of like grumpy old man.
Yes. Don't do it.
I know not what you speak of, sir.
All right. Okay. Well, look at the growth here. Just look at the growth.
Flibbledy flab.
Flibbity flab.
All right. Number 8. Number 8 random networks that we'd love to see happen. Andrew?
The Fake News Network. Basically a 24/7 version of the Weekend Update, but all day long. I mean, come on. That would be golden, right?
That would be golden.
Come on. The Fake News Network.
I'm into it.
I want to see it.
Well, let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
Not right now.
No, not right now.
Afterwards.
Not right now. Later.
We'll talk to Fancy about setting up a sub channel.
Setting up the Fake News Network. I like it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Number 7 random networks that we'd love to see happen. The Salsa Network.
All salsa all the time.
It's all salsa all the time. Who are we kidding? It's just a big show of people eating Mrs. A's famous salsa buena, our sponsor of the show.
Yeah, way to bring the sponsor in.
Wow.
Look at you. Look at you, Christian.
I tied that all together.
Paying those bills. Way to go, man.
Hopefully we get a little bonus pay out of that one. Or maybe just some more free salsa.
Or just a more delivery of that salsa because nothing comes close to it. That's
which, by the way, I gotta get with Tim about our meat delivery. That is not a pseudonym for anything.
Right.
It didn't sound good though, did it?
No, it did not.
I know. Yeah, sounded like a really bad porn. Okay, the meat delivery guy rings twice. No. Okay. There it is. Number 6 random networks that we'd love to see happen.
The Meat Delivery Network. No, I'm just kidding. The PNN, the Podcast News Network. All news and gossip about your favorite podcast hosts. Basically, the TMZ for podcasts.
Ooh. So it'd just be about us all the time.
Pretty well, obviously, as premier podcast hosts ourselves, our public and personal lives would be come on. We would be under scrutiny for sure.
Did you know that we were only just a couple behind Dana Carvey and what's his name?
What's his name?
Oh my gosh, can't think of it because that's how much better our show was.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, wow.
Yeah.
At least for the month. So
it's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of proud of ourselves. The IMN is number 5 random networks that we'd love to see happen, which is also known as the Iron Man Network because Batman needed more prep time.
This discussion's never going to end, and Batman will win. Just so you know, come on, Wayne Price's Network. I mean, it rolls off the tongue there.
Stark.
It's a way better one. Yeah, but you called it IMN, Iron Man Network. You should have done Stark Industries Network. Come on.
Well, we all know Stark Industries, Iron Man.
Do we know?
Well, we did for a little. we didn't for a little while, and then we did. So,
okay, all right.
Number 4 random networks that we'd like to see happen. Love to see that actually.
The TRKS and the Random Christian Show Network.
Oh,
when we get super big, 24 hours a day, we won't sleep. We'll have to eat. We'll have to go to the bathroom, but we're going to go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And, I mean, come on.
Yeah. And the smell
Oh, just awful. It'll be awful.
And yeah, because we'll just be sitting in a little room 24 hours a day. I'm just having some more coffee.
You're right.
And
Get me another rock star.
Pour it in the coffee.
Right.
And more donuts with nachos and stuff. And bacon. Because
bacon.
No,
I mean, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. No, who are we? That sounds awful. Let's not do that.
Yeah, we're moving on. Number 3 random networks that we'd love to see happen would be the Random Network, a derivative of number 4. It's just a live stream of people in a laundromat. It really doesn't get any more random than that. So, I mean, when you're talking random,
or
it should people in the laundromat.
Or it should switch between the laundromat and Walmart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's going to be some licensing problems with Walmart.
Well, unless we get Walmart to sponsor it. Hey, Noggin's always working over here.
well, if you locked in a room by yourself for 5 years in a row, it tends to happen. There's ideas that just pop right out my head. And the other voices agree with me too.
Yes, we do, Andy.
All right. Number two for the random networks that we'd love to see happen.
The BHN, the Bad Husbands Network. It's just men watching sports, not doing dishes, not helping around the house, and drinking beer and cursing at the TV all day.
Boom.
Heyo.
That's pretty much every day.
Right. I'm here all week. Tip your waitresses. Thank you.
Heyo. All right. So that brings us down to the infamous number 1 random network that we'd love to see happen. The NPPN, the No Pants Podcasters Network, because, well, I think you know.
That's what we are.
There it is. So, we're not wearing pants. The Random 9 list is done and over with. And we've moved on successfully to another week of Random 9 things that we probably shouldn't have ever had the research done. But we did it.
No.
Because that's the kind of guys that we are. And
it's the crackerjack research team we have here at the Random Christian Show,
which are really, really not paid, and so we just kind of take what we get. In fact, it usually is just a random guy in the store that we go, "Hey, what do you think about a network?" I don't know. The guy with no pants on behind the counter. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just noticed that. So thanks. Yeah, we're good.
Brilliant.
And I don't need my change, so that's awesome. Yeah. And so now that we're done with the Random 9 list, we can move on to bigger and better things. Which those bigger and better things, I know. See, I just feel obligated to let the song play out.
Why?
Because it's got this beautiful horn section. Bam! And I love the ending. Da, 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 da. And now you expect something grand and glorious, kind of like something that's in control, something that's rocking, something that's bringing you in. That's right. Well, that would be Miss Fancy Macelli and the Good Wives Network. Here she comes. There she is. Yeah.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Fancy? Welcome to the show.
How are you?
Hi, how are you guys? My grandson was in here just talking about the No Pants Show. So he is a big fan of the No Pants Show.
He's one of us.
Yeah,
he is one of us.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. There you go.
I think he should be the host, and we'll just
he is he is such a big fan of No Pants. That is very big. Very big.
Well, yeah, he needs a podcast then, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. I do, however, really I did like the No Salsa or the All Salsa all the time. I liked that one. That was cool.
Oh, you wait till you have some Mrs. A's Salsa Buena. I'm telling you. It's amazing. Oh yeah.
Hi guys, how are you?
Just a shameless plug for our sponsor. Welcome, Miss Fancy. How are you?
I'm good.
And we are very, very excited to have you on. Well, we're very excited to be a part of the GWN, or the Good Wives Network. So thank you for having us along.
Absolutely.
Now, and I know that there's a whole bunch of stories behind this. So first off, let's get to the meat and bones of it. I like to throw this right out there.
Sure.
Where did this all come from?
Oh, God. You want the 5-minute version or like the 3-hour version? How much time do we got here? Well, okay, so basically I was an actress when I was like little. I started off in the industry when I was 6, and I was doing really well, and I was working on a couple of things, and I ended up pregnant with my first daughter. So I thought I'd like go right back to the whole thing, and it took me 20 years. And then about 8 years ago, I started on this quest of making my own content, because I was working on an audition piece, and my mentor, Amy Linden, who is actually on the GWN, she has fascinating people on there, and she's got 2 different movies on the GWN, and she's been my mentor forever. Wow. I just love her to death. She's an acting coach. We were working on an acting piece, and she literally looked at me and she was like, I don't know what this is, but it is not good, and I don't know what the F you're doing, but it's not acting, it's not good, and it's not what I expect of you. So what the hell is going on? And I was like, oh, okay. And it's not like I thought it was good, because I didn't. I was like, I hate what I'm doing. And that's how this started. Is I said to her, well, Amy, the things that I can do here in Kentucky are not very great. There's horror shows and they're not good, and there's nothing that I want to do. Like, I don't want to play Scream Queen mom, because I'm 40 now, at that point in time.
Yeah.
Right.
8 years ago, and I didn't want to be nurse number 5 anymore. So I basically
right.
I want to do this.
The world famous nurse number 5.
You can only hand so many scalpels to the doctor, right?
Yeah. Like, nurse stat, like, no, I don't. So I had a conversation with her that day, and she said, you know what, Fancy, the only thing I can tell you is if it's the content that you want to create is not out there, go create it yourself. So I did. I sat down with my daughter, and we wrote 13 episodes loosely based on my life as at the time I was separated from my husband, and we were both dealing with our own mental health issues. And so I wrote about losing my mom, navigating through a family full of mental health issues while trying to make something of myself, and basically how I got to the other side. So I sat down and I wrote that was coping. And I was telling everybody the director stole all the money and all the footage, and we never got to see the light of day. So it was really upsetting. Like really, honestly. So I'm sorry, my nose is just driving me crazy. But that basically
I thought I had a booger, so that's great.
That started me on like a mission of what was I going to do with this. I kind of raised my children at this point. They're all grown. I have a little 2-year-old grandson, like I was saying, and I was like, I've raised 3 beautiful humans, but what does that leave me doing, right? Like, what did I do here? And so I kind of fell into true crime. I'd always been a big fan of true crime, but I never thought I'd make a career of it. And now I'm actually in school to finish up a degree in forensic psychology. Like,
oh, wow.
This is my final year. So yeah. But I became an expert on the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. I did some A&E. I did the Reels channel. I was interviewed by In Touch magazine over and over again. And, going through that process, we released a podcast because we had been largely said that the information that we said we had, we didn't have. So on a lark, I just called up the girls and I was like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to release a podcast. They're like, a what? I'm a podcast. They're like, why would we do that? I'm all, well, because we can. And I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know anything about editing or sound or any of that. I was an actress, and maybe a writer, but beyond that, I wasn't doing that. And then, we started that. We started the podcast. We started YouTube. And basically, I got to a point where, through the pandemic, it really became my outlook on life changed about things and how much time we have here on Earth. And
Yeah.
we weren't getting anywhere on YouTube. We were originally supposed to go out on live tour, and that got canceled and all that, and so I was like, this is not it. And so I began looking to figure out what we were going to do, and our our demographics was largely women. So, and I thought to myself, hey, those women buy things and they propel the whole world of commerce. So why don't we do something for women while it's really hard to be a woman? Like, it's hard to be a human right now. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Okay, like, I don't know that I can make it.
Right.
But, I mean, we just started looking into it, and this last year, I just called it out. I called it out. I wanted to win, and I did, and it all since then has all come together in a way that I never even thought I was going to do. Like, if you had told me, even when I thought of starting the Good Wives Network or the GWN, it is not what I thought it was going to be. Like, what we have created is incredible. It's such incredible, and it's something that no one else is doing. It's epic.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and
that's a long answer to a very short question.
No, actually, that was, I was really expecting a far lengthier explanation. So
right.
Well done.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay.
So okay, now I think what and that was one thing that really attracted us to talking with you.
Yeah.
Especially after Bishop was on it and how he was raving about it so much. And I was like, this is very intriguing. And I love the way you guys are doing it. I love the exposure you're doing. I think you're, everything you do is it works with the people that you're bringing on to your network. So it benefits everybody. And not only just us, to placate our egos. No, it's for the shows you're putting on are really out there to entertain and to inform and be great. And and as you said, and I'm trying to think of the way you said it, but you said it's not like your typical women's network, like Hallmark Channel or something like that. No, this is a you've got everything. I mean, you're covering the gambit of really the modern woman. And I don't mean like Miss Liberated or whatever. No, this is just how women are nowadays. And which
and the thing about it is not to interrupt, but the thing about it that I think is really cool is like we're going across the whole thing, like we have liberal people on our show, we have conservative people on our shows, we have people that just question things all the time, we've got real people, we've got 6-figure income earners, we've got a real estate agent that does stuff with their family. We've got a COVID doctor that's doing a kid show and a COVID update. Like we have so much. And like I said, when I started this is not what I thought it was going to be. But what I was finding, was we were having our own struggles with the different social media platforms that an independent content creator could go to. Hollywood has largely kept the independent, content producer out. They held the keys to the guard, for so long. And, they produce the same crap over and over again. And I was getting, and it's sad because this is all I've ever wanted to do was be in this industry. And now I'm kind of embarrassed by the industry that I've wanted to be in my entire life. So I decided, well, how do you make change? You do it yourself. Right. So, so I started looking at that, and through the pandemic, I began seeing an opportunity that wasn't there. You've got YouTube. Yeah, you've got Amazon or TikTok or Facebook. But what I was understanding was these platforms largely treat content creators like crap, like absolute crap, So you've either got YouTube, which heavily demonetizes anything. Like anything with an opinion of any sort, they are like, no.
Well, and plus you have to have about 5 billion people watching, all the time.
Right. And the true crime industry.
So you can get $3.
I found out that like the big guys yeah, they can monetize, but then they pay so the rest of us can't. So I'm
Right.
like, what the hell is this? So then I started looking at Amazon and I'm like, you want 10,000 views on a single piece of content before I make a cent? Like, I'm an independent content creator. I don't know 10,000 people. I don't like, and I could promote it to the cows come home, but if I've promoted it to my 5 people, then I've promoted it to my 5 people.
Right.
Like, you know, and
It's
yeah, I
right.
have a large network, but still, I have a large network of people. But I just was hearing this from all my friends, and I got tired of hearing no one winning. I was
right.
like, you know what?
Yeah.
Why can't I come up with something that is not Hollywood, but is what people are wanting? You know, I'm not an executive who sits up in a freaking glass tower and thinks that I know what some woman wants to watch on Saturday night. No, you
Mhm.
have no clue what some woman wants to watch on Saturday night, because clearly what you're putting
Well,
on the TV is not it. You
yeah,
know,
it's
like,
because me and Andy aren't on every channel all the time.
Well, yeah.
right.
That's why.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
That's it,
no, I
guys.
mean,
It totally is.
well, and if you can hear the discussions that my wife and I have on Saturday nights, like I
Yeah.
always ask, well, what do you want to watch tonight? And it's never the same thing. It's always something different. You know, it could be
And
comedy.
it's
It could be
never,
comedy one. It could be, you know, drama. The next time it could be something else. You know,
right,
just it's
right.
yeah. You got
Yeah.
to cover all those
And
bases,
so
and it's
I
impossible.
just
Yeah.
felt like women could come to a channel where we could have interesting conversations. We could enlighten, empower, inspire, educate, and not just them, but their entire families, you know, and allow them to see that maybe we're not so different. And
Right.
I really, so this is a kind of philosophical thing that I came up with the other night watching the Parkland Shooter show, right? And it was talking about the Parkland shooting, and it was mostly moms. And I'm sorry if I'm overstepping, guys. If you need me to be quiet,
No,
just let me
No, no,
no,
no.
please, no,
This is
keep
what
going.
it's
Yeah,
about.
this is good.
So I was
Yeah.
watching this and I was thinking about the moms that were talking, and I thought, and I know you guys are guys and I love you, okay? But the world has been largely run by men forever and ever and ever. And look where we're at. Like, it's not a good
Right.
place. We're in a good spot
No.
right now, guys. Like, so
Mm,
I thought to myself, you know, even women that make it into leadership, they still are largely an anomaly, you know? So, and I was thinking about, but not just women. What about mothers? Okay, so if you take away all the political stuff, you take away all the ideals, and you believe this and you believe that, and I believe this thing, and I'm sure of this, you know, if you take all that away and you look at what a mom's main thought process is through their entire time of being moms, it is nothing more than keeping our children safe.
Yeah.
And no one is bothering with that right now. Our children are not safe. They're not safe in schools. They're not safe
no,
at
they're
home.
not.
They're not safe across the world. They're not safe from predators. You know, like, it goes on and on. And I thought to myself, that is a universal theme. Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter whether you're in the jungles of Africa, or if you are a mother in, you know, in a war zone over like in Ukraine or the Middle East, or here. We only care about one thing specifically, and is how do we keep our children safe and how do we give them good lives. So if you
Right.
did
Yeah.
that, if that was the only thing we were looking at, how would the world be different?
Fathers care.
No, they do, and I think that they do. I do, and I think especially fathers that have girls, because it's a different love. Yeah, right. My husband has 3, right?
Yeah.
And we got our little grandson. Our whole family is all girls. Like, we
Yeah.
had 3. My best friends all had 3 girls, and I consider them to be like my sisters. You know, my husband's sister had girls, so like it's all been girls. And now we have this
Right.
little boy, and he's amazing. But I really think that if it was parents, and you know, yeah, okay, there's some shitty parents, right? Right? I mean, there's evil
happens.
parents like
Yeah.
Dee Dee. Okay, so you know, I mean, Dee Dee, in my case, the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, I mean, that's horrible. I'm covering Lacey Spears, and we're covering moms who kill this season on the Good Wives Network, the Good Wives Guide to True Crime. So, I mean, this
Oh,
is what
wow.
we're doing this year for that, you know,
Yeah.
for our true crime content, for our personal show that we've been doing. That was the podcast we started. You know, we're in our 3rd season now, and it's going to be the first season that we have it on video.
Oh,
So we're really
nice.
excited. Yeah.
That's great.
And,
Yeah.
so I started just thinking about that and how we could make a change if we were to sit down and have conversations and at the end of the day still walk away and maybe we didn't agree. Maybe we didn't see eye to eye. But does it mean that I can't be your friend? No.
Right.
No. And if we were to
Right.
really think
And
about
that's yeah.
that next generation and all that we have to do is leave a better world for our children and our grandchildren, then our lives would change drastically. But
Right.
that's not the
that's
focus.
yeah, and see that's the problem with a lot nowadays. First off, parents
Yeah.
aren't parenting.
No.
They're afraid of, actually corrective behavior. And
Right.
we have a huge problem with that in our country, well, and all over the world, because we have
Right.
to we have to be sensitive and careful. No, we need
I
to
know.
Yeah.
kind of dial back on some of
Mhm.
that. And this whole
Yeah.
woke society thing, whatever. I quit putting labels on it. Let's
That's
quit.
it.
Let's just be people.
Can't we
Let's
just
take
be
care of each
people?
other and take care
Right.
of your kids,
Right.
and yeah, deal with the creepos that are attacking our kids. We actually had a couple people on, Russ Tuttle from Stop
Mhm.
Trafficking, and
Mhm. Mhm.
Lee, Lee, oh my gosh, Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Lee
yeah.
Thompson. Yeah.
Lee Thompson, from, oh my gosh, Relentless Pursuit, Outreach and
Right.
Recovery.
Right.
And, they do amazing, amazing work stopping predators.
Mhm.
I mean,
Right.
just and stop, and, Russ goes out to the schools, stops it
Yeah.
right at the heart of it,
Mhm.
and kids,
Right.
it's absolutely amazing. Kids, hear his message and are like, I need to talk to you, and
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
what he finds is just mind blowing. It really is.
Yeah,
And,
no, it is.
it's very sad.
It is,
Uh,
and I'm working on something like that right now too, like with the Nemesis project that we're working on, but with my forensic, and I'll talk about the Nemesis project in a minute, which is our foundation that we're launching. But
mhm,
um I've been doing all of my study for my final year of forensic psychology, and so I'm in all my core classes. I have no more gen ed classes. I'm just finishing up all the core classes. And it's so funny because I never thought that these cases that I would work, just as a podcaster or a researcher or a journalist, whatever you want to call it. I do investigative journalism, whatever. I didn't think that they would have such an impact in my thought processes. And but we
Right.
were looking at the last paper I wrote was on domestic violence, or the dark tetrad, which is the predecessor to or the post from dark triad, which dark triad was like narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellism. Well, now they've added dark tetrad, which makes the sadism as part of that. Well, they were talking about the propensity for you having that being a child who witnessed intimate partner violence, and how they become intimate partner abusers because of what these children witnessed as children.
right.
After a while, it begins to
Okay.
desensitize
Yeah.
them,
Well,
and so
Yeah.
well,
they want to,
you
they're trying to
you
find
say
this.
that, but you look at the world we live in. Look
Right.
at the
No, it's
world we
terrible.
live in. Look at the television programming that's out there. Look at
Awful.
the, the anime and all that. I
I know.
want to,
And I don't
it's
have any problem with anime, but I don't believe it should be put into
mm,
kids. You know, did you
yeah.
guys lose me?
No,
It says
no, we're
reload.
yeah,
No.
that's
No.
part of the
Oh,
feed.
no. Okay.
Yeah. I tried to moderate a comment here.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
We got
No,
Yeah.
somebody
no
trying
problem.
to
Yeah, I
promote
did. Right.
Yeah.
But
their
with
channel or
with
whatever.
the Nemesis project, which is a foundation that I'm starting, I'm the president of. Amanda, who was supposed to join us tonight but got called into work. She's the founder. And so the very first that we're putting on as our content of true crime, because I work in that realm mostly. Now I do scripted content. I want to do some movies and some series and some drama and some, I'd like to do a police drama and different things that we've done, that we've written. But
Right.
I heavily deal in true crime right now, and I
Yeah.
realized I didn't want to do 168 hours of true crime. So that's where I started bringing in other things. Like I bought the network, and that was the first thought that went through my head. There is 168 hours a week of content that I now have to produce. I couldn't do that if I stood on my head yodeling. Like I was like, this is not good. Oh crap, what do I do? I realized quickly, I'm in over my head. That's great. But I work great over my head. But anyway, the Nemesis project, we're starting it based on when we went to do Gypsy's story, and we started out very pro Gypsy, and that has changed over the years as the information that we have gotten has really largely not aligned with the stories that the family has told and she has told. Okay. We have evidence, and that's one of the shows we're coming out with. But we met Amanda because Amanda lived in Springfield, Missouri, where that took place, right? And
down the road from me.
Right. Yeah, and so she was a psychology student at the time when we put out a call for nurses to help go through the medical records that we had released to us from Gypsy. I was looking at them. I mean, there's just hundreds, and there's thousands of them. I have 6 different binders. The great big binders are like this big. Okay. All of them are full of medical records, and it's like it's crazy. You could blow your mind. But when she was a psychology student, she applied to work on the show. We were trying to do a scripted show at that time, and I really had no idea what I was getting into. But 7 years later now, Amanda ended up here on my doorstep last September, escaping a very severe domestic violence situation. She showed up on my doorstep at 77 pounds.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Police have not listened to her. DSS has not listened to her. And I thought, surely, something is wrong here. So I started advocating, immediately.
Yeah.
And trying to find out what's going on in the system. And what I've really realized is I think it's a very corrupt system. But the thing is it's not unusual. These cases, these domestic violence cases, they sound so fantastical. But when you look at them in the idea of the other things, it's not, they're not fantastical. And so Amanda's story is shocking, but only if you don't know what domestic violence really looks like. And so, I literally told a cop the other day in Springfield that I was, he was, again, not listening. And I said, I'm going to tell you what. This is the situation. We all saw Gabby Patillo put in the back of a police car, and 3 days later she was gone. She was dead. Amanda went through the exact same thing, and they told her the police officers gave her 3 choices. She could get back in the car with the abuser and she had to because of her kids. She could leave her kids with him and go to a hotel in the middle of nowhere. She didn't know where she was, had no money, no identification, no nothing, or she could go to jail. That was her options. And what did she choose? She got back in the car, right?
Right.
She could protect her kids. So and I told him, I said, the only difference between Gabby and Amanda is Amanda didn't die. Okay, because not for his lack of trying, but for the fact that she just didn't. She was in the hospital poisoned several times. It was a harrowing tale, and it's still going on.
Yeah.
So Conversations with a Captive, the psychological murder of Amanda Utesh, is our anchor true crime show. And so out of that, we're doing like a real-time investigation into what really happened over the last 8 years of her life. Why did this happen? And how did this take place? But that's where the Nemesis Project came out of. So what the Nemesis Project is yes, we want to do things with victims, and help victims. And of course, at our gala event, our launch party event in June, we are offering for victims to come in. They can get makeup, hair done, and have a photo shoot, like a women empowerment photo shoot, a survivor photo shoot with some amazing photographers for free. And
nice.
But we could do outwork.
Make them feel good about themselves.
No, absolutely. Amanda got her. We did one for Amanda. They're amazing. It's amazing. It was very enlightening for her. It was really cathartic. We're going to do another one with so we did it with one of the photographers that will be there. And the other photographer that's going to be there is Amber Larkin, and she's on the channel as well. She's going to be doing photos, a trauma through photos. Like, it's really amazing
Right.
that she's doing this book, and they're coming out. But I thought about,
Mm-hmm.
Amanda and I started talking about, okay, but there's people that help victims all the time. Like, but and that's great and it's wonderful and I want to do that. But how do we stop having victims? Like, how
Right.
do we
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
having these people, these poor people? And it's not just women, it's largely women. But I've run
Right.
into several men who have had, narcopath relationships with women.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Yeah.
as is normal. In the study, in fact, in the paper that I just wrote, it was that like 90% of it was that men were affected, boys were affected more by
Yeah.
witnessing or being exposed to intimate partner violence than women, but women react to it in a very different way. It's upsetting to them in a totally different way. It doesn't put them into a violent state, but it does put them into a victim state, like, seriously.
Yeah.
So I kept thinking about this, and Amanda kept thinking about this, and we decided that what we wanted to do was go out into the field and
Mm-hmm.
train officers, DSS, hospital workers, teachers, anyone that deals with this, about what it actually looks like from the inside,
Yeah.
and give them a practical understanding. And who better to do that than survivors?
Right.
Right.
So we're
No,
going to pair up with
absolutely.
professionals in the field, doctors, psychologists, different people. I even have a guy who's going to come on and help women train for, learning how to defend themselves and those things.
Yeah.
But we're going to go out in the field and really tell them, look, when you're seeing this woman or this man over here that is completely erratic and, and irrational, and this other person over there is cool as a cucumber, that person that's irrational is not your problem. The
Right.
person that is the problem
Yeah.
is that guy that's standing over there, or that woman who's standing over there that's cool as a cucumber. That, my
Yeah.
friends, is a narcopath. And
Yeah.
you need to be concerned, because whatever that person did to that other random, irritated, crazy, lunatic person that you're seeing, yeah, that's what happened. It's not just that
Right.
he's erratic or that
Right.
he's, no, there's something totally different going on. And I just think they don't know it. They're not trained on this.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
not
I mean,
trained.
they're exposed through exposure, and that's
Right.
the problem. They
Right.
don't get a lot of it, and so yeah, they need to be guided. They need to be shown,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's it's always and it's so easy to just say, oh, you don't understand, you don't understand. No, they don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
A lot of
Really
these, and even female cops are not always victims of domestic violence.
No, and if you
So,
are not a victim of
and
domestic violence, you just will never, you
right.
don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll
And
never understand.
no,
Yeah.
no.
And so and I'm not in any way trying to make this a cruel twist, but I believe honestly nowadays
Mhm.
a lot of women are fascinated with true crime because of these kinds of situations.
I think
Yeah.
they're
Because
trying to understand them.
well,
Right.
yeah,
It applies to their own lives a lot of times.
and
Yeah.
it's amazing because I mean,
Yeah.
you really, yeah, and even crime dramas on TV, things like that.
Yeah.
Women are soaked up into this, and
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
and mind you, guys find it interesting as well, but
Right.
guys are more action and
Well,
not
it's
the inner workings like the CSIs and the
there's an actual
NCIS
reason
or
for
whatever it
it.
is.
Guys are doers and women are thinkers. Okay,
Mhm.
so for me, I don't care
I
about
think
the
about things.
actual. Yeah, I know you do, but there's a women are largely, we think about everything. That is our language. That is how we communicate. We think. It's all about thoughts and feelings and what. And guys are kind of like, I just want to fix it. Can I just fix it? Like, no,
Yeah.
you
No,
can't. You can't
that's
fix
what we're
it.
supposed to do. We're supposed to be
Right, that's
fixing
what you're
things.
supposed to do. These are
Yeah.
these are things that are in the makeup of people.
Yeah.
So for me, the true crime fascination started as a kid. As I remember, the very first time I ever understood what it was and was like, oh my God, what is this? Was the first time my mother took me to the library and let me go by myself. Okay, so I
Oh.
was like 12 or 13 years old, and I I was so excited because I thought, oh my God, I can leave the children's section. But I thought I was going to get in trouble. So I'm like sneaking over there and I'm like looking around. I'm like all freaking out. Like the librarian's going to like cart me out of there, you know? Like I was so naive about it.
Like sirens would be going off. Child in adult section. Child in adult section.
Right.
Right. Like I thought
Shoot
the whole
to
thing.
kill. Shoot to kill.
So I ran in there, like looking all around, and I just grabbed one of the first paperbacks that was on those spinny racks, you know? And it was Small Sacrifices. And that's the story about Diane Downs. And it was fascinating to me. I'm not fascinated with the actual crime committed. Like that happens every day. Okay. People kill people every day. Bad things happen to people every day. That's not fascinating. What makes it fascinating is all the different things that leads up to how did we get here? Like, you know, for each different, now, like I can understand, like, I understand, and I don't condone it, but I understand the idea of like a passion killing, like a, you know, in the heat of a moment, or, you know, even like someone cheated on somebody. Like I get those things in the moment. I get where that passion comes from, how that can become something in your brain. But when you're talking about serial killers or a mother who takes her children's lives or a father who annihilates his entire family, what in the hell happened to walk down that line and make this decision? That's what gets it for me. I want to know how the brain is working. Like it's fascinating to me.
You got to delve into the psyche of it all. Which unfortunately means you've got to start thinking like the way they think, and that's
we do, and it was really hard. It is really hard. It's hard to do, and it's hard to turn off sometimes. Like
that's what I mean. It's very scary because you it's like an actor. You know, you get so involved in the character, you start becoming the character, then you're the character out in real life, and they're like, hey, all right, Bob, listen, man, you know.
It happened to Jim Carrey.
Put the machete down.
That's right.
Happened to Jim Carrey when he did Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
He became Andy Kaufman, and he has never come back from it. He's never been the same since. That role changed him. It really changed him. They talk about Matthew McConaughey with Dallas Buyers Club, another one that it changed him. You know, when you do some of these types of roles, and that, because I come from the acting world, I get that, you know, like you do some of these roles, you do take on that person, you know, and we do the same thing in these cases that we're representing. I have to find out every single thing about a case. Like I can't let it go. I sit up at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning going, I have to know. Like I've got to know this. It's something I have to know. Not anymore that I want to know. Like I don't even want to know these things. But if I don't find out, it's just going to continue to cause insomnia.
Right. You know? So I'm curious here. So for cases that where the law is involved, right?
Yes.
How do you get that information, or do you conduct an independent investigation alongside? Like, are you running your own investigation, like alongside and interviewing people and talking to people? And when that happens, like, I'm curious, what's your opener saying? Hey, I have a true crime podcast and I'm investigating this. Right. Would you mind sitting down and talking to me?
Go ahead. I'm finished.
I mean, how receptive are people to the, hey, I run a podcast. I want to, and I would assume that they can probably be more open with you than they can in other forums. Is that correct?
There's a lot to that. Okay, so first of all, yes, I run my own investigations with my team. I work on it with a team, and that's why I met Amanda in the first place, was she was part of my team.
Right.
And I will get information that I can gather. So the first thing I always do when I'm doing an investigation or looking at a case is I put in what's called a FOIA request, which is Freedom of Information Act. Now, if it hasn't been a case that's been closed, it doesn't matter. I can't get that. If I want to get a closed case, it either has to be approved that it is now a cold case, or it has to be a case that is no longer being investigated and is fully closed. So it's either been through the court system or they have closed this case and they're not opening it again. So so you do that. That's where I start, because that's going to give me all the investigation evidence that maybe did or didn't make it into court. You know, like with Scott Peterson, there was a lot of that when we requested that. With Gypsy, we requested everything from Greene County, and it took me 3 years to get her actual interrogation video. I had 16 hours of Nicholas's, her co-conspirators, and I had asked and asked and asked and asked, and that should have been my red flag from the very moment that I started getting crazy answers to, well, HBO stole the footage and they won't give it back to me. And I said, well, wait a minute. Do you signed a contract with HBO, right? So no, they have to give it back to you. It's yours. They don't own it. You're no longer under contract. So no, you know, and I started getting the answers. Well, I found out when I was doing an interview from someone else, I said, you know, like, where did this come from? Because they had different clips than I had seen in the original Mommy, Dead, and Dearest. And so I was like, where did this come from? And the lady told me, well, we got it from Wisconsin. I had never thought to even look at Wisconsin, because this is my first case. This is my first real investigative case. And so I was like, oh my God, I got that. And let me tell you, that changed everything I thought I knew about the case. It changed my entire perspective. It changed our entire team's perspective.
Oh, wow.
And it was the beginning of the end of me participating with Gypsy and her family. And that was a lot of learning for us. We learned from that experience to take everything that people inside of an investigation say with a grain of salt. So then, yes, we do run our own investigation. I look at every piece of information that I can get. I gather all the books, all the things that have been written on it, and I compare across evidence and what people have said about it. I watch all the the true crime footage that's on it. I hope that I can get a court case, you know, if Law and Crime covered it or someone covered it.
Yeah.
You know, signed us in, you know, open to shut. Open to close. I watch that from end to end. I analyze it all. You know, we have discussions about things. Like I'll call the girls up and I'll be like, hey, did you look at this picture? Like, what is going on in this picture?
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at this, and the very first one we did, and that we've shown before, is shed that was on Gypsy's property that was rainbow colored inside. And the very first time I saw that, I sent that to my team and I went, what exactly is this? Like, what are we looking at right now?
Yeah, no thanks.
Because this is weird. It was creepy and weird. And so I was like, I don't know what this is. So yeah, I do. And I'm not bound by the same laws that police officers and DSS people are bound by. I'm not bound by the fact that I have to do something by protocol. As long as I'm not breaking the law, I'm not bound by the same things, rules and regulations that they are. I'm private investigating, you know. I'm not a private investigator yet. I haven't got my license yet for that, but I'm doing a private investigation, you know, and I'm an investigative journalist is basically where I'm at, you know, an independent investigative journalist. And then I basically just run it through a series of tests and put it through, you know, us talking about it, us analyzing it. I do reach out to people. I always try to reach out to people that are connected in the case. You know, friends, anybody that's a professional. I always call in my pros, you know, I call in like Jeff and Jude and all these different people that are major, you know, that have degrees in these things and talk about it in a knowledgeable way. But yeah, I mean, I do think there is a difference. Sometimes there is a shut off when you say podcaster, because people are like, you're just one of those armchair detectives. No, I'm not an armchair detective. Like, I'm well versed, I'm well informed. I'm not just, you know, sitting in my rocking chair, you know, screaming at a TV about this, you know. No, I have I look at everything with logic and reason, and you know, and that's how we start. And then we kind of just build out from there until I feel like we're at a point where we have all the answers we're going to get, you know. You have to get to a point in a case where you go, all right, that's it. We've hit our wall, you know? And sometimes you can hit that wall and you can come back to it later and you can find another way around. But I do know that there is a lot. Yeah, there's a lot there that we start with, so it's an interesting process, and it was a learning curve for us. We really had to learn,
Oh yeah. But again, it's just a constant ongoing thing with those kind of things. So and now if and this is for the audio part of the show, people just tuning in, we are talking with Fancy Macelli. She has a true crime podcast, but that all evolved into an entertainment network, which then evolved into the now Good Wives Network, which is a channel. Now, let's get a little bit back to what the network is all about. I mean, obviously we've got the true crime, but we've got you've got a wide variety of shows. I mean, wide, which is awesome and amazing. And I'm not trying to downplay the true crime stuff.
No. No, I think our daytime lineup is incredible. I took that from an idea of what HLN does. They have their true crime content at night. They have their home and living during the day. But the last thing I wanted to do was 95 shows a week on people buying houses I probably couldn't afford and complaining about the tile. Hey guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but tile is not attached to homes permanently. You can take it out and you can change it out and your house will look beautiful. You should not be worrying about that.
Same with linoleum.
Yeah.
I found that out.
I feel the tile in here. I'm like, it's not permanent. You can take it out and make it anything, literally anything you want, literally.
That's what the sledgehammers is for.
Right. So I was like, I don't want to do that. But what I did with the network is, like I said earlier, I started listening to content creators that I admired, that I wanted to work with in some capacity. And in fact, you guys were one of the first ones that came to me, because Bishop did that show. And you were the very first ones, I think, that we signed onto the network as not being true crime. And that was the beginning of me thinking about, okay, so what are we really doing here? What are we doing? Yeah. And what I started with in November and where I'm at today are vastly different ideas. Like, it's kind of taken a life of its own.
Yeah.
So we have morning shows, like morning motivational shows.
Yeah.
We have, even like fitness in the morning to start your day off. We've got a wonderful show called You and the Universe. We've got Erin Birch, who comes from, she's a network marketer, but she's in health and wellness and she's a coach. And, these women that become coaches in network marketing, they're phenomenal people. Like the things that they're just like any other life coach or therapy coach or any of that. They talk about all of this, and I really just started looking for people that I admired and wanted to do something with. And then, we got Kim and Martha do a show called Family Coaster, and it is the crossover from our daytime content to our true crime content, which is heavy hitting, And so I wanted something that was in between being kind of frivolous for the day of like Cooking Channel and Home and Living and Home and Garden and all these different things. What are you doing? Okay, so I'm sorry.
It's the No Pants Network.
It's the No Pants Network mascot.
We're happening live right now.
Oh my
God. No, they want to start a note. They're like the best show that's network that's never been started. And we talked about Wyatt not having pants, and they said that he should be the host of the whole network. Yeah. Yeah. Come here. You want to come here so you can say hello to everybody without your pants?
CEO and mascot.
Right.
Yeah. He'll be the CEO and mascot. I'll let you guys see him for a minute. This is the love of my life right here.
And again, we're talking with Fancy Macelli, the creator and master of the Good Wives Network. And hello, buddy. How you doing?
Hey.
Okay, hi. Can you go to Mama now?
All right. See you, buddy.
Okay, go to Mom. Thank you. No, you're fine. No, he's fine. Go. So, so the network has the daytime product.
It's just like having Andy on a couple of things of Monster.
It reminds me of, there was at the beginning of the pandemic, there was like this lovely newscast where the guy is like sitting there and he's got his suit on and everything, and then like the child is like running around and you see either the nanny or his wife, like she like ducks in all all of a sudden, and she like yanks the kid out and is like,
oh yes,
yes. Do you remember
I
this
remember
at the beginning of the pandemic?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is my life. This is my life every day. Like, with this child, and I love him dearly, but oh my God, some days I'm like, will you go away, please?
Well, my wife says that to me quite a bit every now and then.
Oh,
so.
yes. I like him better than I like my husband. No, I'm just kidding. I love him.
Okay, so Fancy Macelli, the Good Wives Network. Now, it's all. Let's go through all the venues that it's on.
Okay. So it started off that we were going to be on Roku, Android, and Amazon TV.
Right.
And Apple, I looked into Apple and the platform that we were originally on, and right now it is down because we are changing the platforms. So you can't find it right this minute, but you will be able to within the next week or so. We're still in like a soft launch. We're not in full launch. We won't be in official full launch until June, when we do the launch party and everything, from June 9th to the 12th, or the 11th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. But we were on Android, Amazon, and Roku. And then I looked for Apple, but Apple was so expensive through the platform that I was originally doing.
Imagine that.
Apple, imagine that. And what they told me literally was Apple is more proprietary. We have to go through more to encode for that whatever. And so I was like, okay, well then we'll add it next year. And then, my partner passed away last month unexpectedly, and we wanted to talk about this. Christina was my ride or die with this. People have come and gone from our come back and gone. And, we've had a lot of growing pains through all of this for the last 7 years, but never Christina. And so it was really hard. It's been something that we've largely had a hard time figuring out how we were going to go forward. And I kind of almost to the point where I got guilty about it. Like, did I get my win at the cost of my best friend? Like, is that what happened? And I had to work through that, I've dealt with loss better. I've dealt with loss before. Colleen has not dealt with loss as much, which is my other main partner. Mm-hmm. And so she has had a harder time with moving forward. But I really feel like this was that Christina is doing some work up there that she couldn't have done here for me, her son, for everybody, And so I felt really led by her lately. Mm-hmm. And so I had looked at another platform, and I hadn't really, they didn't have what I wanted when I first looked at them. So I went with the other platform. Well, then all of a sudden they've added on all these new things. So now we're not just going to be on Android, Amazon, and Roku. Now we're going to be on Apple. We'll be on Samsung Smart TV. And we'll also be on mobile devices. So you can get us on our your phone. You can get us on an iPad, all of that. And then, of course, content is displayed at thegoodwivesnetwork.com, which is our website that's still being, largely built. And then each of our content creators will have their own website, like a subdomain, which is going to be, so the Random Christian Show, thegoodwivesnetwork.com, and their content will be there. They'll have merchandise they can look at and everything from the shows that we're branding for you guys and everything. But so now we're on so much. And then I'm even in talks with Tubi, to see if we can get some of our shows onto Tubi. And so, I just I had to learn how to code again. I learned how to code a website. No, this is so crazy. I coded my website myself back in the early 2000s by reading a dummies book. And I literally read a page of the dummies book, and then I would go and I would do this. And this is back where you couldn't even get a color if you didn't know the right code for the color. And there wasn't something where you could go and copy it somewhere or use a template. Yeah. This was hard on building your own website. And people are like, you did that from a dummies book? I'm like, yeah, it was just freaking big. I did everything in it. Every single thing it told me I did. And I had a great website. Well, now I'm on the same side is when I started thinking about doing this, it was really either really technical or really expensive. And so we weren't able to do this forever. But we found a way to get started. And now I learned how to code Roku the other day so that we have, our amazing advertisers are going to get to be on there. We can run ads of our own shows on there. You know, we're also
Jeez.
we are
That's
in
great.
a point now where we can provide digital advertising for businesses. So if you're a small business out there looking for a way to get a larger market, to go regional, to even have a global market. I mean, we have listeners and followers in Australia, like in New Zealand. Like, so this is crazy. Yeah. So
welcome, Aussies.
And if you know, and now, guys, this is really big. We get to have multiple channels. So after we build this DGWN, we can have multiple channels of sub channels of our content. So we can have an all true crime one. We can have an all talk show one. We have an all health and wellness one, you know, a political channel. We can do that. And I'm so excited because this was something I didn't even think was a possibility even a couple months ago, much less 7 years ago when I started out. You know, like there was
we'd probably be on the political channel, right? I mean,
I don't think so. I'm not
We're gonna
sure,
be in the
Christian.
recycle bin. We're gonna be in the recycle bin, Christian. That's where we're gonna be.
Oh, that little trash canny thing. So we get to hang out with Oscar.
Right, exactly.
Oscar,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, and eventually, like, I want to have a men's channel, you know. So, like, we've really got a lot of growth here, and I'm really excited.
Yeah.
No, it's really huge.
It is.
You mentioned that.
And
this earlier.
We're the only ones doing what we're doing. We're the only ones that have put together the way that we have. There's lots of people that go out there and they make their own channels or whatever. But we've offered our content creators an amazing amount of services. You know, I took all the different things that I have been involved in: network marketing, being a retail manager, being a server, being in the industry, a content creator, a producer, a writer, an actress. I put it all together and thought, what would I want as a person that would be the complete package? And that's what I've really tried to do. You know, I want to work with content creators and I want them to own their content. You know, I want them to, even if I decide that I want to come on and I want to produce the content with you, I still want you to own at least half of your content, because I don't ever want to have a conversation with you where I'm telling you what your content needs to be, because I don't know what your content needs to be. I know what my content can be, but I can't do you. You know, you've got to do you. And I think that executives forget that. I really do. I feel like we've forgotten that. And we've forgotten what real people are like and what real people want to see. You know, I was watching a show, and I'm going back to true crime, but I was watching a show the other night about how they said, well, nobody cares about what happened. They only care about the sensationalized murder. I'm like, have you met a true crime person? Have you ever talked to a true crime fan? Because that is not at all. I don't care about the specifics of the thing. Like, the event in no way is interesting to me. Like, you know, unless it's very, very weird, you know, unless there's something really unusual, that's not what I'm excited about. And so I thought the same thing about, well, do we really want to watch shows about, like, you know, the real estate one where it's, you know, you're buying houses that nobody can afford, and these are people complaining about that, or they're flipping $1 million homes. I'm like, that's great, but the average person is never going to buy $1 million home. So my real estate agent, they are flipping Airbnbs, and it's not just about flipping the Airbnb. They have family meetings that they're taping. They are a family that is doing this. It's a mom, her son, and I don't know if she's his fiance or his wife yet, but she's an interior designer. He does business, and she, you know, and then his mom is a real estate agent. And they are, so we're watching them do this. Like with Cecil, you know, let's look at Cecil. Cecil started out with crazy challenges.
Gonna be on the show.
Right. Cecil started out with crazy challenges and then came to me the other day and said, what if we change it to Cecil's crazy life? Because my whole life is super crazy and interesting. And, you know, it's not what everybody thinks. And Wyatt too. You know, when Wyatt did his first show with Crowded, I was like, this does not hit. This is not going to hit. This and it's not like I wanted to tell him, hey, your show cannot do this. But I called him up and I said, all right, look, I ran this past a focus group, and this as it sits right now, I don't know what to do with this. And so we talked about it, you know, and we had a conversation about it. And I went to him and I said, what if we got your wife involved? What if your wife was like who you're telling this to? And, you know, and so that's now the new show that he's working on. And now he's brought me 5 other shows that he wants to do. So
wow. That's amazing.
What we're doing, you know, and we're giving content creators a platform.
Yeah.
You know,
but that just goes into what Wyatt does, which he has 5 other personalities that are speaking in his head. So it all plays out in the end.
Right. Yeah. No, it's cool. Like I thought, you know, what if a comedian were to do that? Like, I'm sure comedians run it past their wives. Like, hey, honey, is this funny? And she'll either look at you and go, no, it's not funny. Yeah. Or she can be, yes, that's really, I tell my husband all the time, oh my God, that's the funniest thing you've ever said. You know, but I'm the only one that's going to tell him the truth. And I think people would love to see that. Like a real show. And so our whole network is real people doing real things. It's a network for women by a network of women, you know, with some good guys thrown in, you know, because I want good guys. We want to promote the good guys. You know, there are good guys out there, and there are men that can appeal, you know, in a sense to women, something that they maybe didn't even know existed. That's the whole thing is like sharing and leveraging networks. So, you know, so
no, absolutely. Anyway. And but I just love the fact that again, like you said, you're dealing with just real people and real programming. You're not trying to censor it. You're not trying to redirect it. You're not controlling it. Now, again, you've made some suggestions saying, hey, you know, this is cool, but listen, what if you maybe did this? You're just kind of helping refocus in the right direction, I think.
Guiding
you're giving a little guidance.
Yeah, and I always say you can take this forever, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I want a successful channel. You want a successful show. So let's figure out how to make that together, not just here's what, well, I brought you a great idea and now you're going to totally bastardize my idea. Like, because I've talked to a million writers that's what they hear. You know, they sell a show or they work on their show and then they're told, no, you can't write this. You can't have this content. You can't do that. And I've been told that. And I was like, you know what? No, you're not going to tell me what my content is.
Right. You're not
like Gotham.
Right.
The show Gotham started out amazing, and then it went into such a weird direction. It was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
3-4 seasons, you're just like, what am I watching now?
Yeah, it like totally changed from what it started out as, and you're just like, we've gone in, and of course, hold on, let me fix this because now we've gone to this point.
Sorry.
Yes, we're nerds. So I just because I thought Gotham was just an absolute, the way it started, the first 3 seasons was absolutely amazing. And if nobody knows who we're talking about, Google it, go watch at least the first 3 seasons and then stop.
And it's but Walking Dead was the same way. I love the creator of Walking Dead. I've met him, I've worked with him, my husband worked with him on a show. Like he's a great guy. But it became something completely different. And now they've gone to like Fear of the Walking Dead. And I'm like, none of this is what this was supposed to be.
It's not, none of it's relevant.
You know?
But so, and that's what I love. Like you said, you're just kind of hey, why don't you try this at least? At least you're offering some suggestions. And, you know, like you told us, we just need to shut up and you know, and let everybody else do whatever they're doing, and so okay, what is right here?
Well, honestly, one of the best suggestions you gave to our show was end credits. Like we never thought to put end credits on our shows before,
which is just another way of saying, Christian, shut up.
Well, actually, I was just trying to remind him to run the credits today because he always
No. Do you know how many times I've done that? Like I've done a live show and then I didn't oh my God, when we were first starting out, there were so many times that we had shows that we thought we recorded and no one ever hit the record button on the platform. And we're like an hour and a half in and I'm like, what the F, guys? Great. Now we got to do that all over again.
Yeah. Oh no.
You know,
I have another podcast that I co-host with some friends that I have done that a couple times and just
but I mean,
Yeah,
in
heard a
credit, I
couple.
wanted to make it not YouTube. Like I
Right.
didn't want to just do what YouTube does. Okay, I didn't want it
Yeah.
just to be a free for all.
Right.
I'm selective in who I do work with, but I'm not selective in the fact that like I don't want to help a content creator. Even content creators
Right.
that have come to me and I've said, I don't think this platform is for you. I have also
Yeah.
said to them, but in the future, I think there's things we could work on, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
isn't going to be for you, but I think the next thing we do is.
Yeah.
And with content creators, you know, like I said, I can only be a guide. It is your
Right.
content. This is what's in your head. I'm not inside your head. You know, no matter how much I can shrink it, you know,
Right.
from a psychologist point of view, once I get this degree, you know, it's still I'm only trying to figure out what's going on in there. I don't really know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
And I just want you guys, I want my content creators to have this ownership, to have a place. And then on top of that, like Tori, my other partner, who came back when Christina passed away. You know, Christina was this beautiful light. And I really believe that Christina has brought back people into my life that I never thought I would talk to again. But that's just
Yeah.
what Christina does. And so Tori came back in and she was like, you know, Fancy, most network executives don't throw all their content creators in a Facebook group and allow them to talk to each other. And I said, I go, but Tori, am I most network executives? And she's like, no, touche, you're not.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
So,
that's what I wanted.
welcome to that world. Yeah.
Right. I wanted you guys to have a way to talk to other people. So if you're a content creator and you're feeling down on a certain day, because we all have those days where like, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? Am I making money at this? Am I no, not like what is going on, you know? And you want to go in there and you want to ask for some love and some help and some suggestions and some support. Great. You want to go in there and you want to talk about different types of new content that you can bring to the platform and then bring that to our executive team and go, hey, we want to do this. Great. You know, like I said, Wyatt came in with 5 other shows now. He's like, I want to do this and I want to do that. I want to do this. I'm like, I want all of it. All of it. Wyatt. It's all great. You know, and so like, you know, this is a new platform. What we're doing is vastly different than anyone else. And I think we're on the cusp of something really incredible. I think we're going to change Hollywood because I think Hollywood is falling apart. There's a moral compass that's going on there. I think that when the streaming networks came in and made bingeable content, they screwed up the game and Hollywood had no idea that they were even in trouble. And then the pandemic brought them to their knees. Because they could not tape anything. They couldn't work. And they've not recovered. And I think it opened the door for independent people that have been told no for way too long. Because
and there's a lot of independent filmers, there are a lot of independent creators and
they're, you know, just because you're in Illinois or Indiana or Kentucky or wherever, just because you're not in Hollywood does not mean that your thought process, your writing, your whatever is not good. That you don't have to be in a little LA to be you know, a great content creator or a writer or a producer or, you know, an actor. No. LA does not have the market on this. Like there's great minds everywhere. In fact, I think there's better.
It doesn't have to be LA or New York. No.
Or even Georgia.
And actually we've had a lot of people on this show you know, from the Midwest and you know, from places you would never think. But then once you start delving into it, there is a huge industry out there in other parts of the U.S. that are just blowing up with a great imaginative talent and you
it
know,
should have always been like this. It should have always been like this. It should never have been about who do you know and what can they do for you. It should be about what content are you bringing out and what is it really doing.
Big money, big studios controlling everything is what it was.
And I think that that's terrible. I don't want to be a part of that. And I made that choice a couple years ago. And it's just every day since I bought the channel, I have been more solidified in that what we're doing is important and it's different. And I think that what we are creating as a team, you know, I keep calling it a community. It's a community.
Well, it really is.
It is. It's community. You know,
Right.
I need something from somebody. I go, hey, I've got shitty internet. I can't upload this. So what happened? 4 people said, hey, Fancy, I got you. What do you need me to do? What can I help
Right.
you?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Every
Yeah.
single one of you has come to me. You know my health problems. You know what's going on. I have long-term COVID. You know, I've got all these different things that are going on. And every single content creator has come to me and said, hey, how can I help you? What
Right.
can I
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of the community we're building. And I'm so proud of that. And I'm glad
Yeah.
you guys are a part of it. Like it's
And
amazing.
no, we are just absolutely over the top. We were so
Yeah.
excited when we found out we could be a part of this show.
Right.
Or this network, I'm sorry.
Right.
And
Yeah.
again, we were just attracted to the fact of the way you guys were putting it together,
Mhm.
and how it was so open to so many different things. And
Yeah.
that's why we keep trying to promote it. Now, okay, you said you've kind of done a soft launch, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so there's a soft launch on what, Amazon?
Roku and Android, and those
Okay.
will be back up again this next week, and then
Okay.
by probably, I'm hoping by April 15th was our original launch date, but we moved it back based on the gala, starting the foundation, doing all the different things. We had to get paperwork in for the nonprofit, so we wanted to make sure that we did it and we did it right, so
Right.
so April, I'm hoping to be on Apple and all the other different platforms that we just added, and hopefully, and then obviously we'll be on. You can find us on all the socials. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all little pieces of what we're doing behind the scenes stuff will be up there with everybody,
Right.
little clips. And that's the other thing, is we're leveraging each other's networks. The COVID doctor has over 600,000 followers on TikTok. He's going to bring all
Wow.
of those with him to the channel when he decides to do long form content. Kim
Yeah.
and Martha have hundreds of thousands of women that they coach and that follow them and are buy into them every day,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we have our own. And so I'm thinking, I'm looking at this going, well, if somebody comes to the channel and say they're watching, Martha's show, that those are going to be the same people that are going to, hey, Dione.
And also hello to Leah Aguayo. She was tuning in earlier. I think she's still part of it. Said she absolutely loves you and is going to start following you a lot. So that's huge. Leah is absolutely amazing.
I'm just another one that's, just all I'm trying to do. And I think that's what the thing is. Like, I know where my content creators have been because I've been there and I am there. Like,
Right.
and that was the big heart of this. Before I thought about making money from it, I wanted to think about, how do I support independent content creators? Well, like, I never felt like I was,
Right.
we're the outsiders, the independent people. We're the outsiders. We're the ones that never fit in the mold of the people who don't fit in the mold. Like, so these people, Hollywood doesn't fit in the mold. And then we're the people that don't fit in that mold either. We're like,
well, we break the mold is what we do.
Right. I'm like, I used to love Leonardo DiCaprio, but now he's dating 14-year-old girls. I'm like, what?
Right.
What is going on here? And we're making jokes about it on the Academy Awards. Are you kidding me? Like, what just happened? Chris Rock walks, Will Smith walks up and smacks Chris Rock in the face on live TV. I'm like, are we watching real life right now? Oh my God.
No, they were imitating a scene from a movie.
Right. You're right.
So that's all that was.
Right.
Great publicity.
Yeah.
Which me and Andy are going to do to each other on the show that we'll be putting on the Good Wives Network, which will be hard launching in June.
June.
Yeah.
So
June
is June 9th through the 11th.
June 9th.
Is going to be our official launch. We are holding a 3-day event here in Lexington, Kentucky, and it's going to be incredible. So first night, we're going to do cocktails and just snacks and things. We'll be out at a I think it's Wildfire Winery. And that's going to be a meet and greet. So you guys, they can come in, they can meet our content creators. They can, talk with them and have a good time with them, enjoy it. And then we're going to do the premiere, the very first episode, live premiere of Conversations with a Captive. The psychological murder of Amanda Utesh.
Right.
And that's going to be that night. And
briefly
then
followed by the first episode of the Random Christian Show.
Right. Sure. And then the next day we're going to do the photo shoots for the survivors. We're going to have Brandy, who's coming to the channel, with doing a coffee and crime kind of thing in the morning. And then we have this incredible fundraising gala at night. I mean, full purple. We're calling it a purple tie event because, purple is the color for domestic violence. So instead of being a red carpet event, we're going to have
notice
the
color on the crawler here. And
right.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure I was being hip.
And it is going to be amazing. Okay, so it's called the Campbell House. It's owned by Hilton. They have a beautiful hotel that attaches to it, but it literally is like an upscale barn that you walk into, and we're going to have we're going to have bourbon flowing and a beautiful dinner, plated dinner, and a live auction, a silent auction. So you can sponsor it as a business. You can buy a ticket. Tickets are $160 for an individual ticket, or if you want to buy an entire table of 10, that's $1,500. We're going to put on a good show for you guys. Like, it's going to be incredible. And then
it's on the goodwivesnetwork.com. They can find all this information, correct?
We're about to we'll have a launch page and a ticket page here in the next week. I'll have it up by the end of the week so that they can go directly there and buy them. But you can also get them from any of our content creators. So anybody that that's on our network, you are more than welcome to reach out to one of them, and they get contest stuff for helping and promoting it. So, but yeah, we're really excited about the gala. And then the next morning, like I said, on Sunday, we're going to finish it off with a good guys brunch. And we're going to have some bourbon tasting and wine tastings there. And then
lots of bourbon is what I'm hearing.
I mean, we are in Kentucky, where bourbon is the only place Kentucky can be made is here in Kentucky.
I thought that was the land of Jägermeister, but I guess I'm wrong.
No, we really are. You can only make bourbon here. You can make whiskey anywhere, but bourbon is only made in Kentucky.
Ireland.
Ireland. Ireland. There you go. And so then that's still whiskey. But we're right on the bourbon trail, so we're gonna bring in some things from the nicer places that we have here, the distilleries and things, because we want to really give you a Kentucky experience. If you're here,
right on.
We have we have discounted hotel rooms and stuff if you guys want to come in and stay. So I mean, this is going to be a full event, guys. That's our official launch. And that's when the channel will go into, we'll have video on demand, we'll have subscription areas for people, live content, bingeable content. We want to kind of give everybody something, but this is a way for you to support the content creators and to help out a really great cause, the Nemesis Project. Proceeds from the gala and all the proceeds from the gala go to the Nemesis Project. And
awesome.
The other two nights, we're going to make a donation to the Nemesis Project based on the behalf of all of our content creators. But those nights are actually going to be money that we put towards our content creator shows.
Oh, cool.
So
right on.
$50 the first night. We're trying to get it to $35 on Sunday, so we're trying to make this as affordable as possible while giving you an incredible event.
Right on. Okay.
We're so excited.
So again, anybody interested, they can go right to thegoodwivesnetwork.com, check it all out, find out about the actual network and all the festivities that will be ensuing soon. And how to support it, and then how to help support the Nemesis Project, I'm sure as well. And I mean, we couldn't be more excited to be a part of this, Fancy.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm so happy.
And we listen. We know. I know a lot of people that are listening or watching aren't aware of what's been going on behind the scenes, but we know it's been through a lot. You all have been dealing with so much, and just God bless you for hanging tight and taking care of each other. We're always here for you, but you know what? Right now, we've got something we've got to do. It's something we do at the end of every show, and we like to play random questions. There he is. Insanity. When I move, we may lose.
We're gonna
him.
find that guy sooner or later.
Eventually,
you might find him when you move.
He's probably gonna drop out of the ceiling and be like, "Oh my gosh!"
Right.
Yeah, I've been waiting so long to get out of there. But yes, this is a little game that we like to play with our guests. It's a lot of fun in a weird sort of way, and we it just basically you're into psychiatry and psychology, or it's not psychiatry, it's psychology, and there is a difference. I know that.
I'm really thinking about going to school for the shebang, either that or law school.
Wow.
Oh.
We
just totally lost Fancy.
Oh no.
Oh my God. Like,
what happened?
Maybe the whiskey, or no, bourbon.
No,
bourbon.
Bourbon. It was definitely the bourbon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
well, you know what? That was certainly random. That was on par with the show.
And it was pretty insane.
It was.
So I'm going with that was one hell of a random question coming right back. Okay, she just messaged me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wow.
That was crazy. So yeah, if you've been tuning in or listening, we've had Fancy Macelli. She is the creator and grandmaster of the new network that the Random Christian Show will be on, me and Andy, called the Good Wives Network, and it's available on several different platforms. They've done a soft launch, which will be back on. It's down right now. We'll be starting back up here in just a couple of weeks, and be available on Apple, Amazon. There she is. She's back. And we're back.
Apparently, the 2-year-old with no pants decided to unplug Nanny's computer. Died. Yes.
There you go.
No. When you don't have pants on, you're entitled to do things that you normally wouldn't do.
Right.
Normally wouldn't.
Trust me.
Yes.
My neighbors are all well aware of the crazy things I do without my pants on. So, okay, so we're gonna play Random Questions of Insanity. It's just a series of questions. There is no right or wrong answer, but they do develop the psyche and let us know the inner thinkings of Fancy Macelli. Are you willing to play? Too bad, you're going to. So we have 2 base questions, and you know what? What the hell? I'm shooting both at you. So the first one is, what is the best James Bond film?
Oh God. I don't watch them very much, but any of the ones that are Sean Connery.
Crime lady doesn't watch James Bond.
That's a good answer. That's
watched
okay.
them, but I can't name them. But my favorite James Bond is Sean Connery.
Okay,
so
right.
No, that's good.
But my husband likes the guy that's the predecessor, the Robert. Is it Robert or Richard? Which
Roger
one was the
Moore?
one before? Yes, Roger Moore. Yes, my husband likes the Roger Moore ones, but I am a Sean Connery fan of James Bond. I don't know the names. Okay. I know there's gold something, or I love the girls' names. I think they're hilarious.
The man with the golden gun, Casino Royale. Right. We've got got now, Tommy in the background.
If you asked me Clint Eastwood, I could have answered those, or John Wayne, I could have answered those because my husband forced me to answer those.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right on. Okay. Yeah. So, it's a totally acceptable answer. Like I said, there is no right or wrong. So, what is your favorite sandwich, and what all is on it?
So I'm really particular to the meats that are not good for you. Like, I like salami and pastrami and roast beef, and that is my favorite. And it's really hard to find a good pastrami. Like, I'm Italian, okay, guys. So I like the
with the last name like Macelli. No.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, so I like those, and I like it with a lot of oil and vinegar. Like my husband loves about. He's like, so you're not gonna like. It's gonna be soggy at the end, Fancy. Like you know this, right? And I'm like, that's
a wet sandwich. A wet sandwich. I learned that a long time ago in San Francisco.
I don't want it in the oven. I don't want you to toast it. No, thank you. I don't want any of those things. I want a good sandwich with, all the good fixings. That's my thing.
Absolutely. Nope. Okay. Good answer. All right. Let's see. Andy, go ahead and kick one off.
So we're going to stay on the food thing for one more question here. It's your night to order pizza for the group. What are we getting?
It is salami or pepperoni if they don't have salami. I'll take pepperoni, but I don't like it as much. Mushrooms and tomatoes.
Okay. All right.
I also like margarita pizzas a lot. That's the other one I order a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I do not believe that pineapple belongs on pizza at all. I don't. I'm a non-pineapple subscriber.
Okay, real quick clarification. Tomatoes on the pizza while it's baking or after it's baked, fresh, cold tomatoes on.
No, I mean I like that. I like that too. Like afterwards, that I like a bruschetta or something like that kind of thing.
Sure.
But on my pizza, no, I want them on there and I want them diced. Like I don't want the slices. That's a weird way to eat them. Like I want them diced and I want the skin on because it gets this real like. It just gives it some amount of flavor. It's something different. And my husband's like, that there's tomatoes in the sauce, right? I'm like, yes, I like tomatoes. Like,
there's nothing wrong with them sliced.
My daughter used to think it was crazy, and then she now fallen in love with it. So, like, she's like, I was like, you should try it. Okay, you should try it.
There you go. All right. Let's see. You can be anyone for 5 minutes. Who do you choose?
Who do I choose? Scarlett O'Hara.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right.
Woman of substance.
Good. There we go. Andrew.
Yes. What is the stupidest thing that you've ever done?
And you can't say coming on this show.
Stupidest thing I've ever done. I decided that I wanted to marry the boy that drove me crazy in junior high school. We've been married in June 1st, we will be married 27 years. So I guess it wasn't just
whoa.
Okay,
but it probably was the craziest thing. Yeah.
No, that's so funny. That's so funny that you say that. One of my really good friends from high school was tormented by a classmate all the way through. And then I met up with her a few years later and I'm like, wait, your last name is, she's like, yeah, I married him. I'm like,
no, that happened to us. It happened to us too. Like my husband was walking through the local mall, like it's our big mall in my hometown, my town of Riverside, California. And he had our daughter with us and I was not with him. And he ran into an old classmate and the classmate looked down at my daughter and looked up at Craig and looked down at my daughter and he goes, did you marry? And Craig goes, I did. Yeah. And he goes, how did you know? And he goes, because that little girl right there looks just like her mother. And then she spoke and he goes, oh, she's got the attitude.
There she is. Yeah, there's the mother.
That's her mom. You don't have anything to do with that kid, did you? Like,
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
that is
great.
My oldest daughter is one side and down the other, right? Like,
all right. Okay. We got time for just a couple more here. All right. Where is your happy place?
The beach.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a beach girl. I gotta have. I use it for recharging. I gotta have my feet in the my toes in the sand, and I gotta have my salt there.
Only thing I miss about California.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Yeah. I was born in Florida, raised in California, so I'm a beach girl all the way through.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Right on. All right, Andy.
What is your current pet peeve?
Your
God,
current
there's so
pet.
many right now.
I was gonna say, man.
You know, the
Well,
world has gone insane.
Yeah, what's the biggest pet peeve right now?
I'll tell you a weird one. Okay, this is a funny, weird one. So in the industry, when you say that you were cast in something, that is the proper way to say it.
Okay.
But people like to say casted. I casted them, or I was casted in it, and I'm like, my brain just melts. Like,
right?
Yeah,
that infuriates me, and I'm like, no, that is not right. And then like we've gone from pled to pleaded, and I don't know why that happened. Like, so things like that are my pet peeves. That are just regular pet peeves. Otherwise, I have serious road rage. I mean, seriously.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And I used to drive in LA, and I cannot. I'd rather spend an hour on the 405 than 10 minutes on Shelbyville Road. Like,
so you'd rather go a mile on the 405 than.
Yes. I'm like, this is horrible. Like,
I'm married to an Italian woman, so I'm assuming that that's just part of the package.
It is. And then I'm a natural redhead on top of that, so I'm just extra spicy.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, all right. Let's go with this one for the last one. You have 30 seconds to tell the world something. What is it?
That we all need to come together and stop arguing about the stupid things that don't really matter. We are all human beings, and we need to act accordingly.
Yes. No, there it is.
That's it.
The big ding. In fact, that's a double dinger right there. There we go. Yes. Oh my gosh, Fancy, you are so awesome and so amazing. We appreciate you so much and taking time out of your insanely busy schedule. I mean, I know you're like me. You're working 9 different jobs and you sleep about 3 hours. So,
and then I've been in the hospital like over and over again.
Right, I know. And
I know.
God
like,
bless you.
It's been crazy, but thank you guys, and I appreciate you having the patience with me. I know there's days where I just maybe I didn't get done what I wanted to do that day at all, you know. But I can tell you this, as a network executive at this point, there's never going to be a network executive who will work as hard as I do for you.
No, you're always running.
Yeah,
that's
you
it.
are always
I'm
running.
always here for my content creators. I'm always here for my advertisers. Our sponsors, our foundation. Like, it just. This is, I don't know. This is my moment. Like I decided that this was going to be the time. Like I've done everything that to get here, and now it's just the time. Like so I can't waste the time.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have time left, and my time is very fleeting. I learned that in the last 2 years, like dealing with all the things I've dealt with my health, with having a grandson, like losing Christina. I was in the hospital a week before Christina. I went to her memorial. I was in the hospital in the memorial, and I came home and ended up in the hospital again. Like I've watched my husband like go through so much with this long-term COVID stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so if I can say anything to anyone, it really is that time is fleeting. And what will you be remembered for? How will you leave this world a better place? Will you leave it a better place for our children? Because everything else doesn't matter. It just it really doesn't matter.
And teach your children well.
Treat your children. They're our future. Like that, So, and I may not have done it right all the time, but.
And keep in control, baby, because that's the way we do it.
Jam back in the 80s, dude. I loved this.
Well, that's why we threw it on for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Fancy Macelli, we appreciate you so much for being here.
Thank you, Fancy.
The Good Wives Network. Make sure you check it out. Everybody's on it. Everybody that's worth anything, by the way.
Absolutely.
So, Fancy, again, thank you so much. We'll bring you all back on here soon, and we'll reintroduce the Good Wives Network to everyone and all the fantastic content you got on there. All right. So go to thegoodwivesnetwork.com and check out everything they got going on. Thank you, Fancy, so much for spending the time with us. We love you, baby.
Thank you, Fancy.
Oh, wow. And no, that one. What are you? I hit the wrong
What are
button.
you doing?
I don't know. I'm losing control. That's
You
what
are. You have no control. Yeah.
Hey, you know who doesn't have control?
Oh, I think I
there's
know
someone
who doesn't have control.
Who doesn't have control? It's
Oh, wait,
this
no.
guy.
Do you like sports? Do you like your sports in your face? Do you like to know the truth about your sports? Well, now it's time to get real and get truthful with all things sports. That's why now, on the Random Christian Show, it's time for the man, the myth, the one who brings sports all to the interweb world. It is time for Tommy the Truth.
There he is, Tommy the Truth. Oh, he's
scrolling
still
through.
researching. He's
scrolling
researching like
through.
crazy.
There's so much going on today, guys, with the franchise tags, and then we had fighting this weekend. UFC, there's so much to do. I'm just gonna put this away. It's just insanity right now. Woo! My fingers are tired. I have been scrolling through my phone like that for the last 30 minutes. My fingers are worn out.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, dude.
Oh,
I'm getting
man.
cramps. Hold on. I gotta do this thing. Jeez.
Stretch him out. There you go. Stretch him out.
Oh.
Stretch him out. There you go.
Man.
All right. Welcome back, Tommy. We're glad you hung out with us. Sorry about we ran a little long on the other part of the show, but Fancy just has so much that she's putting out there. We had to give her we got and hell, we got to bring her back just to get the rest of the info from her. But she is carrying our show on there, so we got to make sure she gets all the info that she can. So
That's fine. That's fine. No problem, guys.
Update us with the world of sports, my friend.
Okay, the franchise tag. It expired. Okay, and the deals that are coming down are pretty incredible right now. So, it's not the things I did expect. Okay, Derek Carr got signed. Raider fan. He went to the Saints. They got their quarterback. Now they have the best quarterback in their division. With Brady retiring, who else? Can you name the other quarterbacks in the division that he's in right now but Derek Carr? I can't.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Now, is this an automatic ticket for them to the playoffs, do you think?
I think the Saints, I look at, Alvin Kamara, he's got some talent around him. He's got some pretty good receivers around him. The defense has always been usually the top 10, top 15. Defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think in division, who's the quarterbacks in that division? Yes, I think the Saints could, I don't know. Yeah, they could win. I think they could win the division. I think they could win 10 or 11 games.
Too.
Yeah, I do.
I think so too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So
because
all right.
I don't look at that division being stronger. Carolina, Tampa Bay.
Right.
Well,
you like the last few years, you had to worry about Tom Brady. Now you don't have to worry about Tom Brady anymore. So, yeah, it's just so weird that Derek Carr is now the best quarterback in that division.
He is the best quarterback in that division. And the weird thing, there's another rumor that I saw it on the internet. Tom Brady's coming out of retirement, and he put a tweet on if it's a tweet or Instagram said, "There's no way I'm coming out of retirement. I just bought my daughter, a 2-month-old cat or something, or kitten. There's no way I'm coming out of retirement. Just leave him alone. It's done. He's not going to come out of retirement. He's all doing the family thing now."
Yeah.
Which is good. Do it. You've made your money. You've had your fame. You've had your fun. Go be a family man. Take care of your kids.
And the thing about Darren Carr getting started,
and nobody likes you anyway. So
there you go. $150 million, $100 million guaranteed. I think is what Carr got in. It's like $37 million a year, which you look at it. It's kind of friendly towards the Saints with their salary cap. That made Daniel Jones. He was asking for $48 million from the Giants. He didn't get that. He did sign just under the deadline for the franchise tag. He's going to get, I believe, $195 million with incentives. It's about $35 million a year. There is no way they were going to pay him $48 million. I thought that was insane for his agents to ask. It's like, who do you think you are? You haven't even done. You have had one good season, and you asked for that kind of money. So I'm pretty sure they said, well, Show us anybody else in the NFL that wants to pay you $40 million right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Show us that. We're
Show us
waiting,
anybody. It doesn't matter at this point.
and there was nobody, but he did get his contract, so he's there for the next 3 or 4 seasons. So they got their guy too, just under that deadline for the franchise tag.
Yeah.
Well, of course. Well, if there's no drama, where's the fun, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
It'll be interesting to see. I think he had a good season. They got their guy. They're happy, and now they're probably going. They had a decision to make franchise tag him or Barkley, so they're probably going to franchise their running back now. Franchise tag him. Try to work out a long term.
Right on. Cool. All right. Okay. So let's okay, we've only got X amount of minutes left for the show. You were talking UFC.
Can I say one more thing though about? Ask you guys a question here for the Saints.
Oh yeah.
We might have to do UFC next time if we don't have a lot of time. But I have a question for both of you. When's the last time the New Orleans Saints have drafted a quarterback in the first or second round? When was the last time that happened?
Oh, I know this. It was Archie Manning, wasn't it?
Holy moly, that's great. Do you know the year?
Whoa!
Hold on.
You got it.
It was 1971, right?
You cheat. Did you listen to what we were talking about earlier? He happened to be cheating. Okay,
No,
how do you
I
know
swear I
that?
didn't.
Okay, wait, how do you know that? I know
Dude,
it was January the 28th, 1971.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Know that. Dude, I mean, I played football growing up. I followed. Obviously, when I was really into football, it was Peyton and Eli, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
And then I asked the question to my dad, who is an encyclopedia of the NFL, and I'm like, and because whenever they would be on, they would always flash back to the Archie days, right? And you'd always see those. And I told my dad, I'm like, well, when did Archie play? And he's just like, oh, he played for the Saints. And no, my dad knew he was drafted in 1971 and blah blah blah, and first round pick, and just like
he was not a bad quarterback. He was just with a bad team. I always felt that he was with a bad team.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but like I said, my dad just knows that history, and that makes me do deep dives into players that I waste. I shouldn't be doing it, but I do it just to have that knowledge.
And I brought it up because the Saints, me and my friend were talking about the Saints. They never draft quarterbacks. They always get a free agent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they've been doing since, forever. Breeze came over from San Diego years ago and I traded from them, but they never draft a quarterback in the first or second round. And that was, 1971's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I actually knew the answer, but that's because we talked about it before the show. So
yeah, I'm wondering if you gave him the answer and just didn't tell me about it. But I believe you. I believe you. That was good.
I was actually very surprised that he dropped that. Wait. I'm like, oh, he was listening in on us. Somehow, some way, he was listening in, which I'm still not putting that past him. But
right. And another thing I'll tell you guys, Lamar Jackson, they gave him what they call the exclusive franchise tag. I know if you guys heard this exclusive franchise tag. He'll get like $32.4 million, and what that will do. All the teams say, "Come on!" The Ravens are saying, "Come on, show us what you got. What do you want to give us? What kind of contract do you think you're going to give him? We can match it and keep him. If we give them to you, you get 2 first-round picks." So that's what the Ravens says. Let's see what the offers are out there. So they can match any offer to them, or say, you can have them. That's 2. They'll get 2 first-round picks for them. So I'm curious to see how that goes too.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That'll be interesting. All right, no, okay, because we were talking about UFC. I want to get to that because I think it's very it's fun, and I think it's interesting because of the way it's being structured now. So get into the UFC stuff that you were talking
Albuquerque,
about.
New Mexico is a hotbed. They have Jackson Wink Academy, trains a lot of fighters here. John Jones lives in Albuquerque. Holly Holmes, I've met at the skating rink, lives in Albuquerque. Holly Holmes, beat Ronda Rousey years ago, one of the biggest upset in UFC history with the kick her around the world, kicked her in the face. That was years ago. Yeah. John Jones over the weekend just won the heavyweight championship. Took 3 years off, gained the weight, trained. He is now the heavyweight champion. He's still undefeated. He hasn't lost yet. His next fight is I think he's gonna fight Stipe Miocic. Or Stripey. I don't know if I say it for me. It's either Stipe Miocic. He is the most decorated The most decorated UFC heavyweight champion of all time, and I think they're going to fighting next. But I was just amazed that John Jones, he took 3 years off. And to come back after 3 years, gain weight to move up to fight heavyweight, and
Yeah.
he's still undefeated is an amazing accomplishment. Anytime you take that much time off, come back and to become a champion, it's amazing to me.
Oh, that's
Nice.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. And now you've been posting some stuff about boxing. What's going on in the boxing world right now that's got you so fired up?
Well, I think it's with boxing or with the UFC, the only thing that upsets me, I've always fought to have unions, because some of the boxers don't get paid a lot of money. The UFC guys, UFC, how much percentage? What do you guys think the percentage that the UFC fighters get? Most of them, not all of them. Like John Jones made 8 to 15 million, but he's a special fighter. Conor McGregor is kind of a
Right.
special fighter. He gets more money. But what do you think
Right.
of the percentage? What they get out of 100%?
Oh God, what?
30?
I would
No,
say
that's-
15. I would say 15.
They get 20%.
Wow.
And a lot of fighters are coming out saying that's not enough. 20% for the fighter. Now this is the thing. When they came out late 90s, Dana White saved the UFC. Late 90s, no one
Yeah.
wanted to show it. No one wanted to even put it on air. He came out with the Ultimate Fighter. Okay, I understand back then was not worth anything. It's a $10 billion company right now. And a lot of fighters
Yeah.
saying you need to pay the fighters more money than just 20%. He got a Reebok deal. They only can wear Reebok stuff. That's through the UFC. They're independent contractors. They can't even have their own sponsors anymore. They have to use the Reebok
Oh
deal
wow.
through the UFC. So some special fighters like John
Really?
Jones deserves it.
That's
Conor
crazy.
McGregor, of course, he made all this money from the Mayweather fight. That's where he made his money. He would never have money if it wasn't a
Yeah.
boxing match. He made his 50 million,
Yeah.
but they only pay. To me, yours worth as much as NFL. I mean, you're like in top 4 or 5. You should pay fighters more than 20%. The lower fighters. That's what I'm saying. And then boxing is
Yeah.
the same way. And they've wanted to come out with union for years for boxing, and also for the UFC. And that's the only thing I don't like the Paul brothers, but one of them did say this, that he's working on getting a union started for boxing and UFC fighters so they get paid more money, because they are independent contractors. They pay their trainers, they have to pay their own doctor bills, everything.
So crazy.
Wow. Yeah, so yeah, they definitely should be
Wow.
getting more than that. I mean, I thought 30 was being, because I
20%.
figured that would be low. Yeah, that's
Wow.
And a lot of
No,
fighters you
that's
go on YouTube
rough.
saying, I got to work, I got to fight because I'm broke. And I think the UFC is always like, well, if he doesn't want to fight, somebody else is going to come in. But there's the bare knuckle championships. They're paying the fighters more percentage of stuff. There's a Bellator fighting. So these other companies
Yeah.
are starting to come in, and they're paying the fighters more percentage of money so they can go over there and just move on.
Well, remember what
Wow.
happened? Not last year, but the year before, when the AAA and single A baseball players were releasing their checks out. Remember
Sure.
that
Oh,
one guy posted
yeah.
his on Twitter, and that caused a slew of reform in the way that they get compensated
Sure.
now. So
Sure.
maybe who knows? Maybe that's coming for the fighters.
Yeah.
And I understand.
I would totally feel that that's justified. Many
I know, and I understand what Dana White is saying. He always says the fighters are getting paid enough. And he said, well, maybe some of the other fighters are getting that, but when
Yeah.
you're paying guys 20% and you're controlling, they only got the Reebok. That's it. They can't really use sponsors from, or they're independent contractors. If they're independent, let them choose the sponsorships that they want to choose. And I love Dana White. Him and his business partners saved the UFC back in the late 90s, early 2000s, because it was done. Now, I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember UFC 1 and 2, Royce Gracie back in the day. He won UFC
Oh,
1 and 2,
yeah.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Had to fight 5 fights to win, and you get $50,000. No weight classes, no weight divisions. It was brutal to create the
Right.
rules. You could throw a guy out.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. You could beat the crap out of him.
Yeah,
There's no
that's
rules
back when they. Yeah, that's back when they say, you enter the octagon and
Exactly.
yeah,
And
you
Dana
did.
White
You
came
were
in and
the
said, you know
cage.
what? Dana White said, we got to create weight classes. We got to make this more fair. We can't have guys getting hurt or maybe killed, whatever. We got to create weight classes, make it fair, Ultimate Fighter, all that stuff. So he's done an amazing thing for the sport. I just want them to pay the fighters more money. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, the money they're making, like you said, $10 billion industry. Come on.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
ain't hurting anybody.
Right.
Trust me. And these guys are what makes your industry. So cough it up, pony it up.
Yeah.
All right. MLB, what's going on in the baseball? Real quick.
Hey, wait till regular season starts, guys. There's guys that's
Yeah.
going to boil over for I think they need to go ahead if they can adjust it. I think they should move the 8 seconds up to 15. I don't think that's enough time. Like I told you guys last week, I don't care if a guy's standing there doing a Pendale dance, grabbing his junk for 2 minutes. Nobody wants to see that. No one wants to see you adjust this, adjust this. But I think 8 seconds is enough time. I think they need to move that up 15 seconds.
I agree.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no,
I can
totally,
see that. Yeah. 15 seconds. I think that's more than fair.
We'll see what happens when the thing is regular season starts. See what happens if the pitchers just or the pitchers are not complaining as much as the hitters. If they just go nuts and they just kind of stand there and say this is BS, and then you playoff time coming around, I see something happening. If it doesn't work by the middle of the season at least, maybe All-Star break, they say, you know what? I think we need to move this up to 15 seconds like the pitchers get 15 seconds. Make it fair because you don't want that making a decision in the playoffs. That's what I'm worried about. The guy sitting there, they call a strike because he's there 1 second longer than the 8 seconds. I don't want to see that deciding a playoff or World Series, guys. No way.
Right.
Well, there was a replay that they just showed where, and I forget who the pitcher was, but he threw a double play ball after 1 second late. 1 second late, so it was DQ'd.
Yeah,
so
I know. I saw that.
If that happens, I can't imagine the mess that this is going to cause for baseball.
I could just see them tweaking the time and raising the time for pitcher and batters higher and higher, tweaking it a little bit more because I'm even good, honestly, with 30 seconds each. I'm good with 30 seconds each. I really am.
Yeah.
I would think 20 seconds. I think is a good max. I think 30 seconds. You're going to be pushing it too far, and then they're going to say, "Well, 30 seconds. We might as well just give them a minute," and then it's your 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Okay.
I think that's your top time. 15 seconds. Yeah, but I think 20 seconds. Seriously, I mean, it's like nobody really understands the amount of like how much 10 seconds is until you sit there and you're counting out 10 seconds and you're like especially when you're waiting on something, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I agree, guys. I think the only thing that will change it if it affects a playoff game or a World Series game, or if the fans come back and they say they don't like it, of course, that can always affect it.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we'll see.
Absolutely. All right, man. Okay, Tommy, we got to get you back on next week, man. We had so much going on with Fancy.
No, that's fine, guys.
About
no
that.
problem with that.
I'm loving the head coach headset.
More stuff next week, so.
Yeah, awesome. And I want to talk some more about the boxing ring. I'm you and you're on Instagram, right? Under Tommy the Truth.
Instagram. Yep, under Tommy the Truth. Yep.
Check him out on Instagram because he's putting out a lot of interesting points out here about the sports world. Tommy the Truth or it's just at Tommy the Truth, right?
At Tommy the Truth. Yes.
Yeah, at Tommy the Truth on Instagram. Check him out. Check his page out because he's got a lot of great viewpoints and interesting notes, as we shall say, in the sporting world. And it's on all different sports, man. We are not holding back, or he doesn't hold back on any of it. So, Tommy, thank you so much for hanging with us and jumping on here, updating us a little bit. And yeah, we are very excited about the upcoming baseball season. These franchise tags on these guys. But I want to hear some more about the boxing and I think we need to get a little motorsports rolling in here too soon.
Ooh,
so,
I know you talked about the car driver, and I gotta do some research on that. Send me that because I do not watch that.
No, not Indy. No, not
or
Indy.
NASCAR.
F1.
NASCAR.
No. Circle track.
Circle track.
No,
on that because I don't keep up to the circle.
No. Formula One. Formula One.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on a future up and coming Formula One driver that might come on the show here soon. So
okay, I got you.
But anyway, all right, Tommy, thank you so much for hanging with us. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Tommy the Truth, check him out at Tommy the Truth on Instagram.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Tommy, for being with us. All right, brother. Thank you,
Take
man.
care, Tommy.
And all right. Oh man. Okay, so that's going to be it for the show. Yeah, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And we want to say thank you again so much to Fancy Macelli for being a part of the show and talking with us and telling us all about the the Good Wives Network. Make sure you check it out, thegoodwivesnetwork.com. We're going to be on there. Well, we're on there.
We are.
Their soft launch has kicked in and will be happening soon. And next week, we also have with us, it is no longer just Animal Wrangler. It is
actor, animal trainer.
Actor, animal trainer. I'm trying to find.
Did I put his graphic in there? I might have forgot to put his graphic in there.
Oh, well, it's
That
Michael
would be
Baran.
my fault.
And he's actually got show so much, and we're going to find out more about it next week. Be watching the pages and the socials. We'll be posting some more on it as well. He's going to send us some clips to show as well. It's going to be very interesting, a lot of fun. Michael Baran next week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. That's with us, and we want to thank you so much. Goodbye. God bless. Take care of each other. We're all we got out there, kids. Loving you in so much.